Y'all know me, Big the Legend G, with my co-host Initial D, bringing that heat in a twist street. Grab your popcorn, kick up your feet, sit back, relax. We about to blow. Welcome to our channel. Enjoy the show. Ayy.
Hard conversation, brain stimulation, BGID, no imitation. Look, pull up on the mic. Two big guys is rocking the night. Sub on YouTube and follow on Twitch. I guarantee it's gonna be a hit. It's showtime. Man, that just sounds amazing. I don't know about y'all, man, but hey,
Yeah.
every time I hear that intro, man, I'm like, man, we gotta go back into the studio.
Gotta drop some beats.
Man, we got to, man. We got to. Who we got up in here? We got Guru. What's up? Hi.
What's going on, Guru?
Fancy intro? Yeah, bro. Yeah, man. We put that together how many weeks ago? 3 weeks?
About 3 weeks ago, yep.
About 3 weeks ago. It started off as just kidding around a little bit. We heard the beat of the intro, and I'm like, man, this will just sound fire if we just, put a little freestyle with it, and lo and behold, what is it? I can't. There's a quote that I want to quote, but I can't remember what it is. But it's somewhere along the lines of whatever you think, you can bring to pass. And it was in my mind. And we put it out there. We spoke it, and bam, there it is.
That is
it. Yes. Okay. Who made the lyrics? Because they are fine. That comes from both of us.
Yep.
That comes
we actually and we did that in one day, in one take.
One take. So it's real unique because think about it like this. So you know how like people will make songs like on just on the album and stuff like that. Sometimes all of the artists are not able to like get into the studio at the same time.
Yep.
And sometimes they have to record in a separate studio, maybe in another city or another state, and they have to extract that their voices and then kind of do what it is we did, because we don't stay in the same state, same city, but we were able to make it happen thanks to good old CapCut. And I think freaking CapCut was banned for a few weeks.
Right. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy
to think it was banned. But yeah, we did that. So low key, I don't know about you, bro. Did you used to do any freestyle back in the day?
Actually, no. I was the one making the beats.
Okay.
Like not like you get the software and all that good stuff. Now I take that back. In college, me and some buddies, we fooling around with it. Like we took I think we took the Godfather theme song and made a beat out of it, like sampled it.
Oh, nice.
I think we did a Naruto one and another. It was pretty cool. We just playing around, not thinking we were actually doing something. But like in high school, I used to be the person that everybody would want to beatbox and do the pencils on the desk and all that stuff. And believe it or not, so I was in band in high school and I played the flute and I could play music by ear. So like some of the rap songs that I used to listen to, I could learn them on the flute and play them. And I would make like beats off of those as well.
Nice.
Should have stuck with it.
That's all good. Like once you have it, you don't lose it. I mean, you may get a little rusty, but it's still there. Like for me, like I wasn't the beat guy. I was on the mic. We used to freestyle a lot. Most of my high school years, we would do it on lunch breaks. We did a whole lot after school. Like we used to battle each other, because we used to watch, the 106 and Park rap battles and Rap City, Freestyle Friday, Rap City when they were going to the booth. And it's like anytime I would hear a beat, like you remember that song Flip Side by Freeway?
Yep.
Man, when that beat drop, it automatically it takes me all the way back to like 10th grade.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, give me the mic right now, man. So, but it's one of those things. I don't even want to call it a talent or not, but it's one of those things that, as I got older, I just kind of like grew away from it. Because, like a lot of young men back in the day, we all thought that, oh, I'm going to make it as a rapper. I'm going to get a record deal and stuff. And then, you start getting a taste of what money actually is and how you make it. You're like, I ain't about to start sitting up here trying to. I mean, if people want to rap and make a career out of it, and most of them don't even get looked at. So I just kind of, put it out of my mind. But it would come back to me every now and then. I just didn't think that it was something I would even really care to do. And I wrote poetry too. I started doing that my freshman year of high school. So I was really, really heavy in the just poetic type of stuff. So
yeah,
all of these different attributes, I don't think about it anymore. But I remember it, but I don't think about it anymore. So when we made this this intro, I actually got excited because it took me back. It was something that took me back. A lot of us always like to relive the glory days or get a little bit of hint of that. Get a little hint of that nostalgia, because we all, no matter how old we get, we like to go back in time. We like to go back in time.
Yep. Big facts. Big facts. Yeah, those were definitely the days, man. I definitely miss those.
Yes. No bills. Eat all you want. Some good times. Guru
all we
said
had to do is go to school and play sports and go home and do homework.
That's it. That is it. Guru said banned right after I bought it. He's talking about CapCut.
Oh.
Bro, so I remember when they banned it. This is where I messed up at. So I tried to offload some space. No, it wasn't even on purpose. I was just trying to like free up some data on my phone.
Yeah.
And then I didn't delete it or offload it or anything. But when I did that, I tried to like, put it back. And it was like, you can't put it back. This is banned in your country. I said, oh no. Because this is around the time they was attacking TikTok. I didn't even put 2 and 2 together like this was connected with TikTok. Now TikTok, I never deleted TikTok, but
me neither.
I kept it on my phone, but you still couldn't use it though.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You still couldn't use it. So that was a terrible couple of weeks without it. Because everyone had to like hunt and find something because apparently CapCut is that app. It is definitely that app. I mean, it's think about it. It's not that expensive. And the features on it, whether you use it on your phone or whether you use it on the computer, are just as good as like something like Final Cut or Premiere Pro by Adobe, DaVinci, and it's way cheaper. Way cheaper.
It's literally $10 a month for the pro though. That's the thing. That's for extra stuff.
Yeah. That's it.
But it is so easy to use.
Yeah, very, very, very user friendly. I think that's why so many people were like upset about it. Look at that, that it went down. Let's read some of these comments here. Carlos, we're doing pretty good, bro.
Yes,
we are good. I feel like we haven't been here forever, man.
Yep, we did take a week off last week, so that's why I feel like forever.
You sure it was just a week?
Actually, no, it was 2 weeks because we had episode 33 with Avion because that was at the end of last month, and then we took the first week off, and then we rescheduled for this week.
Yeah, so that's why it feels like it's been a long time. It's been literally 2 weeks because Guru came in and said it's been a while. So like, dang, right? It has been a while.
Been a while.
I know, right? You
gotta do it.
You got to do it, man. Just go ahead and put that shameless pun in there. But when you don't do this for a couple of weeks, it's not that you forget how to do it. It's more like oh man, like I miss it. So to speak, I miss it. But life has been lifing,
It definitely
and
been life.
I think that I think that when people say that, they don't necessarily mean it in a positive way, like life been lifing, like. But I don't think that I don't have anything negative to really say.
Right.
When I say life has been life, and it's just a lot been going on this year as far as like just life altering events and
Mm-hmm.
changes and stuff like that. Um, I'm in a really really good headspace. I can tell you that right now. I don't want to talk about it right now. I'm sorry to even say this, y'all, because I don't want y'all to be like, "How you gonna bring this up and not even talk about it?" Like, you want to save it for a future episode, because if I sit up here and talk, he ain't gonna get to talk, and we're gonna be here till like 11 o'clock. Because there's so many directions I can go in right now, and some of y'all
Mm-hmm.
already know about this. You do. You definitely know what's going on. Carlos, some of what I talked to Carlos last week,
Yeah.
and but nonetheless, just know that nothing is wrong, and all is well. How have you been, bro?
Man, I've been great. I have been great. Same with you. Life altering events are happening. Um, work has been pretty good. I everybody just I guess I'll become the go-to guy almost in a sense.
Yeah.
Like if somebody needs help, they'll be like, "Hey, can you mind helping?" I'm like, sure, no problem. No, I mean I'm still new to everything, but I'm learning so quickly that I can figure it out as I go. So, you know, that's been good. Wife is great. Just life is great right now. Life is really great. Can't complain.
Yes. Yes. Hold on. Let me see. Don't know, but we'll message you. Yeah. Go ahead and do that, Guru. Go ahead and do that, man. Brother, I haven't been talking to much of anybody, if I'm being honest. Like I've been,
He's been MIA.
yeah, I haven't been talking. It's a lot going on right now. I don't mind talking. I'll talk about it all day offline. I just don't want to talk about it in this moment. But
Yeah.
yeah, I would definitely just hit me up. Where can you hit me up? That's the question.
Oh yeah, he's not on socials anymore.
Dang, Guru, hit me up on Discord if you're on Discord, because I'm not on. Dude, I just been dropped off the face of the earth, man. I'm not on X right now, but I still got Discord, so you can hit me up on there. I think you got Discord too. But yeah, man. So, but yeah, life has been good. It has. We are definitely looking forward to this year. It's
Mm-hmm.
still, that's just like Carlos said, it's still February. It feels like
Oh
April.
my gosh, this
It
year's
feels
been
like,
moving.
man,
It feels like
this
it's been moving.
this is the month right here. How's everybody's February been? I want to know, has it been moving the way it's been moving in our life for y'all? Because from the first of the month to now, it's been moving and things have just been happening. It's just
Mm-hmm.
been, man.
Yep. By the way, guys, we are live on Twitch and YouTube. So if y'all see us talking to anybody that is not in your chat, I promise you we are not weird.
Right. And we're not just seeing things.
So
So
whether you're on the purple app or the red channel, welcome. Welcome, welcome.
yes. And if you're not on the other, then go and subscribe to the YouTube. If you're on Twitch, if you're on YouTube, go subscribe to, go to follow over on Twitch. So we would greatly appreciate it, because we've hit some this is a special month. We've hit some
This is
milestones this month.
yes.
We hit some milestones. We got to thank the last podcast. We had Aviana Don on the show. I hope y'all really enjoyed that, because it was great.
It was an awesome discussion.
It
Awesome.
was so good, man. I can't wait to have him back on the show again. But we've hit some milestones on both YouTube and Twitch this month. I'll go ahead and break the news for YouTube, and you can do it for Twitch. So for YouTube, we have finally cracked 100 subscribers.
Boom, boom, boom.
Man,
Man.
look, that's a big deal to us.
That's a
It
huge
is
deal.
huge deal because I always look at it like this. Just think about 100 people and just standing in front of you and you on stage. They just looking at you because that's what that is. And the great thing about that is that these are like literally people that support us. It's not just random people finding the channel and subscribers and stuff like this. These are like a legitimate 100 subscribers, that didn't come from follow for follow or anything like that, because we don't really use this channel, the YouTube channel, for much of anything outside of what we're doing right now. Like, we don't go to other channels, we don't comment on other channels, we just go live, and what you see is what you get.
Yep, that is it. And for Twitch, not only did we hit 100 follows, we hit affiliate.
Yes, dude, I'm not gonna lie.
Hit affiliate.
I was sitting in the parking lot of a coffee shop when you sent that screenshot to me. I didn't know we were gonna be able to get it, to be honest with you, since we stream on like Wednesday only. I just didn't see it, but hey, I don't know how Twitch does things. Yes, he is all the time.
Yes, we hit affiliate here on Twitch, so we'll be able to do channel redemptions and stuff like that. And we're gonna have to think of some channel redemptions. We might, like, I was thinking of one the other day, and it would be like a question for the panel or something like that, or pick our next topic, stuff like that.
That's the thing about channel redemptions. I never will forget. I heard a streamer say, this is a couple of years ago. She said, well, I mean, she streams, but she's more of a supporter. I recall her saying, I will not go to a channel if they don't have channel redemptions. That was what she said. And the reason she said that is because that is, like, to her, that's a valuable asset as far as, how she spends her time, because, you have to accumulate certain time to get, your channel points built up and stuff, so that, you can do those points that cost 1,000 points, or those points that cost 10,000 points, like for me, for example, when I played scary games, this guy over here made sure it was pitch black in here because he's like super cheap and don't want to spend none of his points. He just saves them up for moments like that. For moments like that. And that ain't cheap. I think, what is that? What was it, 10,000 points, or was it 15?
10,000.
10,000 points, y'all. 10,000. 10,000. So, but yeah. So we'll give it some thought, as far as what we can do to bring some interesting sounds and some alerts and stuff for you all to enjoy. Because if it wasn't for y'all, we wouldn't be able to hit affiliate. For those of you who are here, y'all have always been supportive of us ever since we started doing this in 2023. It's crazy to say that since it's 2025 now, but I gotta say that our most successful time period doing this was last year, and then going into 2025 here. So this is thank y'all so much. We wouldn't be if Twitch affiliates if it wasn't for y'all. Thank y'all, because there's some people who still struggle with this. Like, there's literally some streamers who still struggle with getting affiliate. Now, you wouldn't think it would be that hard, but to some people it is.
I make sure I put that out there on Twitter. We're live as new affiliates.
All right. Yes. Did we get the email?
I don't know. I actually haven't checked.
Okay.
I don't even know if they do the affiliate email anymore, because I just randomly went on our channel and it popped up.
Well, they have to.
Yeah, because you do have to do the whole contract thing. That's right.
Yeah, so
But
the tax form and stuff. So
mm-hmm.
whether you get any money or not, that's just a part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, give us some time. We'll get on it. Absolutely. So every time we get ready to do these podcasts, is that we have so many different directions and different ideas that we want to talk about. We get that we can't talk about everything in one episode. Otherwise, it wouldn't be a point in coming back if we did that. So, but we always like to try to tackle subjects that are relative subjects that everybody can relate to, subjects that need some light shined on it and stuff. So we always like to try to tackle that, and we've had some fun topics too. But I feel like today's episode 34, it's a very it's something I'm passionate about, especially since I'm a father and I have like all boys and
Mm-hmm.
we're men of color. So this is something that I actually like to talk about with various people, regardless of your race. I just like to talk about it. And if y'all see the title here, we are going to be talking about the importance of mentors in the Black community. Now, some of y'all that are here right now, you may not be Black. That's okay. We love you. I don't care whether where you come from, white, Black, Asian, Hispanic, Indian. It doesn't matter. We support and love everybody, but we also like to talk about these things. Um, Number one, because we're a part of the Black community. That's
Mm-hmm.
one, and number two, we're always striving to try to see what can we do to contribute and to find a solution to the issues in which we discover that some people may not be aware of, because there's a lot of people that you may see, you see troubled kids, and sometimes some people are very really quick to judge, just on how they look or how they talk or how they act, not really knowing the underlying issues that they may be enduring.
Mm-hmm.
Um, what they say, home is where the heart is, and a lot of people, you don't know how home life is for some of these people,
Yeah.
younger adults, I'll say, because when we talk about like mentors in the Black community, we're talking about like mentoring the youth.
Mm-hmm.
So this could be anywhere between 10, 12, 15, 17. These are like the peak ages for like behavioral issues in predominantly Black males, but also some Black females too.
Mm-hmm.
And it begs the question, like, what's going on with our community? And thus this subject came up. This was something I actually saw a couple of weeks back. I sent it to Bearded in the form of a YouTube video. And I believe the name of that video was, "Why is there such a shortage in Black teachers?" So we are going back and forth with the subject of like teaching and mentorship, or
Mm-hmm.
mentors in the Black community, that is. But let's kick this thing off, man. So I'm gonna go ahead
Yes.
and let you dive into it. I know I ran my mouth enough. So this is two bearded guys, not just one. But yeah, man, let's go ahead. What are your thoughts on let's instead of like just taking it as a whole, let's talk about mentors in
Yeah.
general.
Yeah.
Okay, so from a broad perspective, so what are your thoughts on just mentors?
I truly believe that mentors are essential. I think they are very important. Um, because like you mentioned, there are kids that come from trouble homes and don't have that guidance, um, so to speak. Um, so I feel like someone being a mentor, especially coming from our experience, because we've been and are mentors. Being able to help someone,
Yes.
to guide someone, to become a better version of themselves, so to speak. Um, and chat, feel free to chime in. Again, we might be talking about mentorship in the Black community, but we all have had experiences in mentors and mentorship as well. So feel free to chime in. Um, I would I consider myself a mentor? Yes. I think I have been mentors in many different ways. I used to be a youth minister. Um, in my hometown church. I was a high school coach for several different teams. Um, and I was a mentor when I found out about my diabetes. So being a mentor is very, very, and in all caps, very important.
Yes. Yeah. That look, all caps, no cap. Trust me, it's definitely important. I remember I was in elementary school. I don't remember what grade. I can't remember. I don't know, maybe somewhere between third and fifth grade or something. And my school had this program. It's called the Motivator Program, and it would be, I don't know if it was like a military thing or whatnot, but all I know is that I would leave class to go sit with this guy. He was in the military. I want to say the Navy maybe, and we would go to the library and we would just talk
Mm-hmm.
about just how are you doing in school, how's things at home, and things like that. Like I can't remember the conversation fully. I mean, it was a very long time ago, but the I do remember sitting with him. I do remember why I was sitting with him, and just the fact that he took his time out of the day to do that. And I think that one of the greatest attributes of mentorship is donating the time,
Yeah.
because time is like your most valuable attribute that you have. It's the one thing that you have, and if you waste it, you can't get it back.
Yeah.
I can have money, I can waste it, and I can get it back. I can't do that with time.
Right.
And
Right.
when you give that to somebody that other people didn't see fit to give time to, that goes a long way.
Mm-hmm.
It's a really long way.
Yeah.
I I do consider myself to be a mentor. I didn't do some of the things that you named, like you said, you were a youth minister, you were a coach, and stuff like that. However, in my career, a lot of people think that all I do is just train people and work them out. Like one of these days, maybe we can have like a career day one day,
Mm-hmm.
career podcast, and we can just kind of go into depth about the ins and outs of our careers. So I can tell you that you don't stay in my line of work for 15 years just by working people out.
Right.
You
Definitely
don't.
more than that.
You do not. It's so much. And I didn't know this coming into it. I had no idea that it was more to it than that, but it is an emotional attachment to what it is I do. Because people already, first of all, they come to you vulnerable and unhappy.
Mm-hmm.
They're not coming to you happy. They're not coming to you confident. They come to you vulnerable and just not happy and sometimes broken. And it's a lot. Like
Yeah.
even today, I pushed one of my clients really hard. She had been, she hasn't really been too happy with, her progress. And then, I got her to open up a little bit about some things that she had been doing. I told her, you're going to have to just like fall in love with this and stop looking at it as like just something to do.
Mm-hmm.
So for the last couple of weeks, I told her, I said, we're going to push really hard. And today she learned that lesson so much that she started to cry. Now I've seen this before, and she starts crying and she walks away, like she didn't want me to see her cry. I said, "Come here." So she turns around. She come here. I already know she's crying.
Yeah.
I said, "What's the matter?" And then she wouldn't say anything, and then I just went ahead and just dive right into it. I'm like, "I know why you crying. I get it." So we sat there and we talked and talked and talked, and then I could tell she was soaking it all up, and in that moment, she felt accomplished. And I've had many conversations with that in that regard.
Yeah.
Now, actual like mentorship outside of that has taken place in my life as well. I have had people approach me, like other trainers who are like,
Mm-hmm.
just starting out. They got some questions. They want to know the ins and outs and stuff like that. And I've sat down and I don't gatekeep. I tell them,
Mm-hmm.
what it is. I just want to look. I'll tell y'all what nobody wanted to tell me
Yeah.
growing up. Because when you come in my line of work, people are thinking that you trying to get over on them. They thinking you trying to take their business and stuff. I'm like, how am I going to take your business from you? I don't even have a reputation. But that was how it
Right.
was like many years ago. But now it's like my philosophy to younger trainers is y'all are the future.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, some of them like younger than me, way younger than me. I'm like, I'm getting older. So, and I may not want to do this forever.
Yeah.
So let me just tell you what I know. Put you on game, so you don't have to fight and scratch for it. But I think one of the most rewarding instances of mentorship was a number of years ago. It was it's no shame. We all here should probably know King EJ the DJ.
Mm-hmm.
King EJ the DJ, if y'all didn't know, is a former client of mine. Um, who found out that I stream. I told him I stream, and then he just started coming to the streams. But he's somebody I know in real life who we've had conversations with. We've had phone calls and stuff like that. And then one day he called me. We were talking on the phone. He's like, "Can you be my mentor?" Now EJ is young, y'all. He's about 28 years old. So he's not even 30 yet. But he came to me like so humbly with it. And I asked him, like, why do you want me to be your mentor? And what he said to me, he said, "I love the way that you carry yourself, the fact that how you take care of your family, how you treat your wife. Like these are all things that I want to mirror."
Right.
So, and I've always told him that he's special. He is so special. Like he's a great guy. I can't say anything bad about him.
Yeah.
He's just special. I love him. I do. And I never forget that when he asked me, would you be my mentor? He didn't have his father. His dad wasn't there. He was raised by uh, women, mom, aunt, grandma. No disrespect, but ooh, that ain't good for a
Yeah.
young man. It's not. So he reached out to a man like myself, which I didn't think I would be worthy. I just didn't. But he did. So it's moments like that highlights this as far as like the importance of mentors in the Black community.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of reasons as to why this is important. We're talking about mentorship now,
Yes.
how we feel about it, but we want to get into why it's actually important.
Yeah. And before we do, you made me think about 2 points. You know, I actually my dad, he's an example. My dad was a mentor. When I was young, after school, there was an after school program that we would go to, and he'd go tutor kids
Yeah.
uh, from the city in, math and things like that. Well, he also, my dad was an engineer. He was a civil engineer, so he actually came to um my when I was in junior high school. He would also he was also a mentor for a program called SECME.
Mm-hmm.
And they've changed it a little bit. You've heard of SECME, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So for anybody that's never heard of the acronym, SECME is SECME, and it's basically like science, computers, engineering, mathematics, and economics. So
Yeah.
he basically taught, the high schoolers, the engineering side of things, and they did competitions and all that. And I mean, everybody loved my dad. You know, anytime someone sees me, they'll ask me, "How's my dad?"
Yeah.
That I went to school with, because he made such an impact on those students, and most of the people that were in that program were black kids.
Yeah.
So definitely big plug to him for that one. Because seeing him mentor people, it really wanted me to be the same way as well. And like you mentioned, EJ,
Mm-hmm.
one of my mods, Alpha, when she met me, she actually asked me on the side if I would be her mentor when it came to streaming. Because I knew so much, and you know she just loved my positive attitude and everything, and she's doing great on her own as well. So um, if y'all don't think y'all are being mentors to people, think again. You never
Yeah.
know.
Think long and hard, because again, you one thing I've learned is that people are always watching you. People are always listening to you. They may not always tell you that, because I don't know. There's just a lot of people don't like to come up to folks and say, "I look up to you." They don't
Yeah,
like to say that.
they
They
don't
don't.
want to come off weird or
Yeah, they don't want to come
awkward.
up awkward, weird, and maybe even some pride. Like they just
Yeah.
don't want to tell you that. But I wish more people would come forward and say things like that, because it would inspire people to like take that plunge a little bit more seriously
Mm-hmm.
when it comes to actually like taking mentorship seriously.
Yep.
Uh, Carlos says, my grandfather was a mentor for his younger siblings, nieces and nephews, grandchildren, a whole lot of random people. He was known as the teacher of teachers, those who helped his career. Nice. The teacher of teachers. I like that.
Hmm.
Almost. That sounds like King of Kings, man.
Right.
Teacher of teachers. Okay.
Yeah.
He became a teacher in his mid 20s and started his own business in his mid 30s.
Wow.
I'll tell you, man, Carlos, we can sit around a campfire. We're gonna be there like for days with all of the
Campfire
stories.
tales.
Right. With all of the stories you have, Carlos, from your family, that's a beautiful thing. That you can even
Yeah.
tell those stories, man. Like, dude,
Mm-hmm.
do you understand the wealth of wisdom that you have? All because of like your dad, your grandfather. Like, it's some
Mm-hmm.
a lot of people can't tell no stories. None. So I mean, I'm that is what's up. That is what's up.
Yeah.
All right, so let's see here. Are we gonna stay here, or are we gonna move on to
We can move on. Yeah. Yeah. We can move on.
before we hold on? I'm looking at these. Before we do that, we gotta highlight something else right quick.
Okay.
As far as like the question here, the importance of black mentors,
Okay.
of mentors in the black community. So, um, statistically, here in the United States of America, um, fatherless homes is a very high percentage in the black community. Very
Mm-hmm.
high. Um, I'm not saying that it doesn't happen in Hispanic homes or white homes or Asian homes. I'm not saying that, but I just know that the family dynamic is completely different in those cultures versus the black community. Now, we don't have time to really get into like the history of it. All we can really do is just talk about what the data says.
Mm-hmm.
And And data aside, we all know this. We, especially those of us within the community, like I can think of like so many like people I personally know who did not grow up with their fathers personally.
Mm-hmm.
Or if they did, they had a bad relationship with them. Like I know so many of them.
Yeah.
And come to think of it, very few of them have like, you know, the quintessential dad in their life, like you. You know, your father was a really, really important figure in your life as to who you are today. Like you're the result of your father. You know what I'm saying? And
Mm-hmm.
it's a lot of young men and young women that can't say that. So we feel um, just because dad's not there doesn't mean that others can't step into the picture. You know, in my city, probably in yours too. Like, there's programs here. Like, I used to train this guy. He runs a nonprofit organization, and it's more so for the youth because he has a passion for the youth.
Mm-hmm.
He grew up with both his parents, but they struggled. So he doesn't like to see people struggle. So in order to kind of get ahead of that, you got to get to the core of the issue. And you know, just talking to these kids when they're like 16, 17, 18, acting up and stuff like that. A lot of these kids, it's not that they're bad, it's just that they lack direction. I mean, when you don't take the time, if mom and dad are not in the picture and they don't have mom and dad to pour into them correctly, you know, you're only going to know what you know, and you're just going to pull from here and pull from there and pull from there and pull from here and configure your own personality
Mm-hmm.
while still feeling anger and possibly even resentment when you see other kids out there that do have their dad or they do have their mom, and that's where they lash out, you know,
Yeah.
and they get angry and stuff like that. So, but when you have a mentor there, you got to catch it early. But when you have like a mentor there, you know, you can install some characteristics that they may have missed
Yeah.
in their earlier development
Mm.
phases. So,
Agreed.
hold on, let's see. Have to mention my grandfather was African descent, so he did all that having to deal with some situations. Oh, okay.
Mm.
Interesting facts there, bro.
Hmm. That's pretty cool. That is pretty cool. Um, so before we get into this first bullet point, I guess, I actually found a article um as far as the importance of mentors in the black community. You know, like D said earlier, he had sent a YouTube video about, you know, black teachers, more so male black teachers. And that was one disturbing fact about the whole thing when it came to, you know, black teachers and male black. So in this video, it said that only 6% of teachers are black, less than 2% are male. Like, why is that?
All right, you said less than 6% are black and less than 2% are male, correct?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So we gotta like establish that. I don't know if it's always been this way or not, but I do know that ever since I was a child, maybe even back further than that, you know, teachers were always the personification of a teacher was always female.
Mm-hmm.
Women have always dominated schools. You know, they've always dominated schools. maybe we can contribute this to like the order of like the family order,
Okay.
like the biblical family order. God over the
Yeah.
husband, the husband over the wife over the kids.
Okay. Yeah.
The female more subtle to deal with children, of course, because that's by nature what they do.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Not saying that a man can't be a teacher. A man absolutely can be a teacher. But if I can think, most of the teachers I've ever had with women throughout elementary, middle, high school, etc., most of them
Mm-hmm.
were females.
Yeah.
So, but when you break those statistics down, like less than 6% are male, you know what? If that percentage was higher, I don't think we would see like as much rebellion in school. I don't think we
Yeah.
would, because the higher up it goes in the educational system, like you start getting to high school and stuff. Kids going through hormones and
Mm-hmm.
dealing with stuff at home. They want to try the teachers and stuff.
Yeah.
We see this all the time. So, but the fact that 2% or less than 2% are black is that's disturbing. That's really disturbing. Like, I don't have like a legitimate explanation for that.
Yeah.
I mean, we could give some possibilities because teachers do not get paid a lot of money. Like, from my understanding, I think it might be less than $30,000 a year.
Yeah.
And to deal with what they deal with, they should be getting 100.
Man, what?
To deal with what they deal with, they should be getting 100. The educational, like the school board, the educational system, they have always like short pocketed teachers. Like, always, like, to be a teacher, you gotta love kids and you gotta be passionate for teaching. You
Yep.
have to. You
You.
got to.
Yeah. Most definitely.
And I feel like if they weren't so cheap, you would see an increase of those numbers.
Mm-hmm.
But for whatever reason, they just, I don't know, man. Like, I guess we're speaking on like public school. That is, I haven't. We ain't talking about private school. That's another subject, but just public school in general. They're only willing to pay those teachers so much money. And honestly, men more so than women are more of a stickler when it comes to how much they get paid a year.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of us have families, providers, got to take care of the home.
Yep.
$30,000, man. Mm-mm. And and if I'm being real, like, if you black, you ain't, nah. Uh, Dope boys can make more than that.
And that's a problem.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
is a huge problem.
Dope boys can make more than that. Burning CDs, all type of stuff. I ain't not
Yep.
condoning none of this stuff. I'm just saying, like, we're probably not burning CDs now. I mean, who has a CD player still? Everyone got USB ports in their cars. CD player. What is that? Like, when were you born? So, yeah, but there's so many other different. There's so many other ways to like make more money, and I think it does come down to money.
Mm-hmm.
It does. It does come down to money because African Americans are at the bottom of the barrel when it comes to like the wealth gap
Mm-hmm.
already. They don't want to like take a job that's gonna not get them ahead. And unfortunately, that job is teaching. But the double-edged sword with that is that you still got black kids in these schools.
Yep.
You know, you still got them there. And I've just seen it to where they've been written off and not paid attention to, and then they come to school with whatever they're dealing with at home. Yeah, it's, again, that's what I think. What do you think? Why do you think that percentage is so low?
I mean, on the same lines as you. Man, not paid fairly. Um, but they don't want to deal with the stuff that the kids bring
Rightfully
because
so.
because I'm sure everybody in this chat have seen, videos of kids going off on the teachers and wanting to fight the teachers, and most of them are females. But then you get a video where the teacher happens to be a male, and the male's like, "I don't need this job. Let's go box."
Yeah.
So
Yes.
so it's like, why do I want to put myself and stress myself out with these kids when they're not going to act right? But there's one movie that came to my mind when we mentioned this.
Mm-hmm.
Lean on Me with
Mr.
Morgan
Clark.
Freeman.
Yes.
Man, if y'all have not seen Lean on Me, I highly suggest that y'all go watch. Now, I don't
Listen.
suggest, I recommend it that y'all go watch it.
Yeah.
It is a great movie. I mean, just to kind of give y'all a little background, this is Morgan Freeman starts off as a teacher that the kids love at this one high school. The school board comes to him like, "Hey, we want you to become principal and get this all black school, well, mainly black school,
Yeah.
um, you know, get them in shape because we need them to pass the state exams to keep the school
Yeah.
district thriving." And I mean, he walks into the hallway. There's graffiti all over the walls, the lockers, people selling dope in the classrooms, and fights breaking out. And he was like, "All right, I had enough of this." Calls the entire school into the auditorium, expels 300 kids. 300. They have a a parents conference, and one of the moms got pissed off because her son got expelled, and he was like, "I expelled those 300 to save the 2,700." Like,
Hmm.
if that don't speak power, if that don't
Hmm.
speak volumes, like how much he cares for the school, how much he cared to be an impact to that school. He went through leaps and bounds, got arrested for the kids,
Mm-hmm.
and they ended up passing the state exam. So I mean, like, that to me is an example of how it should be when it comes to, you know, teachers, black teachers,
And mentorship.
and mentorship, because he
Great example.
cared. He cared for those kids so much. And like, there were even white kids at school as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I remember when he gave the speech right before the state exam, he told all the white students to stand up. He said, "These are the ones that everybody says is gonna make it out." He said to everybody else, all the other people, all the other kids, black kids, the Hispanics, they tell y'all inferior. Y'all not gonna make it. Some of y'all gonna be in jail, or some of y'all gonna be dead. But y'all not gonna make it.
That's real. They need to play that in school.
And I mean, everybody went up in arms, and you know, people started to love him. They hated him at first because he was changing a lot of things. And then, people were doing stuff behind his back that he didn't know nothing about, and he ended up loving the fact that they changed the school song. It was pretty cool. Excuse me. But the moral of the story is, if you're a mentor, man, you gotta love what you do.
Yes.
Gotta love what you do. And I feel like if you are a black teacher or thinking about becoming a teacher, and in the black community, love what you do.
Yeah.
No.
Don't even think about like the money. Don't do it for the money,
Mm-hmm.
because then you'll be disappointed and you'll learn to resent it. But just a little side note here. I feel like the movies from the 90s gave
All
us
had a
the
message.
gave us the blueprint for success for the rest of our existence.
Mm-hmm.
They came out with so many movies in the 90s that told so many stories, that gave so many profound messages that you can still apply today. And I know there's definitely some people who never even heard of Lean on Me. They probably heard the song, but they probably never seen the movie. Carlos says it reminds him of Coach Carter.
Yep. That's another one. That is another one. The fact that he locked the gym up so they could not practice because they were failing. You do not see people doing that no more these days.
And think about it. And love, showing that you care and love may not always look like it. You know, Mr. Clark expelling 300 kids may not look like he cares, or it may not look like love, but it is. And Coach Carter locking the gym up it may look mean, it may look rebellious, it might look like it's too much, but it's a message.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, if you want to do this, you need to do better doing this. And that's the problem that we don't have anymore.
Yeah.
There ain't no coach. I'm not okay. We don't know what's in every single high school around America, but I'm not gonna say there's no Mr. Clarks in this, or no, there's no Coach Carters here. I'm not gonna say that, but I do know that there's a shortage
Mm-hmm.
of it, because those, even though they were actors, it's still the principle is that they were playing like male black figures in the school.
Yeah. And
And
those movies were based on true stories.
yes, and like you said, the statistics is less than 2%. So there's not a lot of Mr. Clarks. There's not a lot of Coach Carters out here. It's just not. So, and like you said, a lot of people don't want to be teachers because they don't want to have to put up with it. I mean, think about it. Coming to school and dealing with kids that don't want to listen to you, don't want to start talking, don't want to sit down, being disrespectful, throwing stuff, and you can really do only so much. Excuse me. You can only do so much. Like, these teachers can't even defend themselves.
Or they'll get fired.
Dude, you can't even defend yourself. The kid beating you up, and
You just gotta sit there and take it.
You just gotta do that. Then you gotta go home and think about that. No.
So, and us talking about Coach Carter and Principal Clark, I think it segues into the first bullet point as to why mentorship is important in the black community. Because these mentors, they're culturally responsive. They know the culture. They grew up in it. So obviously it's important for the mentors to teach these young kids the culture. You know, the basically the street, the I ain't gonna say street lingo, the street talk, but street smarts. You know, what else? Street smarts, book smart, financial literacy, things like that. Because as black people, we're not really taught that as much back in the day. You know, um, our grandparents they grew up in different times, which trickled down to our parents, and then kind of trickled down to us. Now, in some cases, there's a little bit different. In my case, it was taught to me because my parents they weren't taught that, so they learned and passed it down. So, um, but it's not like that for everybody. Some people learn from the streets pretty much. Might not be the right way, but they learn.
You're gonna learn something.
Yeah.
You're gonna learn something. The thing is, mentorship, it doesn't always look pretty either. And it doesn't always come in the form of a teacher. It doesn't always come in the form of a coach. It doesn't always come in the form of a man who just wants to help a brother up or a sister or whatnot. Sometimes it comes from the streets. Sometimes it comes from the gangsters. Sometimes it comes from the thugs. Sometimes it comes from the dope boys. Like mentorship, it doesn't discriminate. Like you will be mentored one way or another,
Good or
by
bad.
good or bad. Like it can be bad mentorship or good mentorship that's beneficial. So, but it happens. It happens. But to say that they are culturally responsive because they can relate is absolutely true. Um, but it still begs the question: why don't we see it as much? Like, is it because they don't feel like they are obligated? Like, I made it. But why do I have to go back and teach or
Yeah.
show them this and that? I think it does come down to a mentality.
Yeah.
Because I've from my experience, I've known three different type of black males. Number one, the one that made it and they're successful and they ain't looking back. They're not looking back at all. The other one that has made it somewhat and wants to help his community out because he knows how it is to struggle. He knows how it is to do without. He knows how it is to be judged and stuff. And then number three, the one that seems to be just trapped into that mindset of this is as good as it gets. Street life,
Yeah.
all that different type of stuff. Those are the ones that we want right there. Them the ones. But those are also the ones that the first person doesn't feel like it's worth it. So they don't waste their time. You know what I'm saying? Carlos made a great point here when he brought up this movie, the Cross and the Switchblade. Now I don't know if you ever seen that or not. The Cross. Okay, so the Cross and the Switch. Movie. I seen it maybe about a long time ago. 2012 maybe. It was a long time. But it's about a pastor, preacher pastor, who goes to New York, and he wants to open his church. He's in, I think it was in Bronx, I believe, like a really really rough neighborhood in the Bronx. Like the Lord called me to the Bronx to open a church. Thus the name, the Cross and the Switchblade.
Yeah.
This is like 1970 now. This ain't like bullets flying and stuff. Like this is like the Warriors.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like the 70s. So he's like basically just there in the midst of like the hood, the ghetto, essentially, wanting to bring these individuals to Christ. And again, this is an example of somebody who looks at the rough ones and sees that they need saving. I mean, that's just like what Jesus said. We got to throw the Bible in there, of course. The Pharisees were talking among themselves, and they were like, "Why are he over there eating with tax collectors and eating with prostitutes and publicans? Why?
Yeah.
Sinners. He look at him over eating with sinners." And Jesus said, "Well, it's not. I come from those who need to be healed, those who are sick, not those who are not sick."
Yep.
Those are the ones that need this. And anybody with a heart can understand that. And when you see kids, young kids that you ain't going down the right path, it's crazy to look at a young man and you see he going in the wrong direction and not feel compelled to want to do something.
Yep.
Yeah, it's not your responsibility. I get it. It's not your kid. I get it. But you can't be one of them people complaining about the community too. If you're not going to like contribute.
That's
to
a
the
word.
community.
Say that again.
Bro, you can't be one of these individuals that complains about what goes on in the black community if you're not contributing anything to it.
Can somebody clip that, please?
You can't. We see this all too much. All they thugs, all they Negroes, ain't never gonna be no good. Blah, blah, blah. And I'm talking about black folks, y'all. Other black people who do this, that talk down on their own folks, who so-called made it. Real success is sharing what it is you learned and causing a ripple effect in your community. That's success. That's a legacy. Just getting rich and making it, storing up for yourself, that ain't success. That's selfishness.
Right. There's one coach that comes to my mind when we talk about this, and that is Coach Prime, Deion Sanders. He obviously he started off in high school, but he got an opportunity to coach at Jackson State, and to me, honestly, he was a decent coach, but he was a great mentor. Like, cause he's even doing it in Colorado right now. He set boundaries for his teams. If you were late, you was not playing in the game. Like, and to that point, he did it to his own son, just to let them know, my boys might be on this team, but they ain't no better than y'all. So
that's right.
I mean, he made sure they didn't wear muscle shirts, they didn't wear slides to the meetings. They were clothed. He made sure their grades were good. There was one video that circulated. Some of his players wasn't doing well in class. They were skipping class and all this stuff. And he called them out in front of everybody and told them, y'all better get right or y'all not on this team no more. Like, those are the type of people that you want in your life. Those are the type of people that, like, they love you enough to do stuff like that, to call you out on your BS.
And that's what you call tough love. When you can do that, that means you care about a person's future. You care about a person's well-being when you can do something like that. Carlos said, sometimes our parents can't teach us while we're growing because they are learning at that moment. Yes, that's something that is something that I really started to consider the older I got, because a lot of times our parents, it depends. My case is different. My mom and dad were very, very young when I was born. My mom she went 15 years old. My dad was some years older. They were still like kids themselves pretty much. So it's like, the developmental expectation is not very high at that age. And I once heard somebody say, your parents can't teach you what they don't know. We gotta have some grace, because a lot of people like to get angry at their mom and angry at their dad. And I'm like, yeah, but like I said, when I got old, I still started thinking about my mom's upbringing. Like, what did she learn? Like, what did they do? You got to go back before you start to, point the finger. So yeah, I definitely feel that comment, Carlos.
Yep. I mean, I think we see more. I think we see more black coaches than we do black teachers when it comes to this topic. Because they want to help these young boys for sure. Because they might know what these young men are going through. Especially football. I mean, you see a lot of athletes make it out the hood, is quote unquote. Just because they had that coach that took time to mentor them.
Yeah.
And some coaches, they do tell their players, you might not make it to the NBA. You might not make it to the NFL, but you know, have you a backup plan? Have you a career set in stone? You know, have your options open because everybody's not gonna tell you that.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Everybody's like, "Oh, you going straight to the Heisman? You getting straight NFL?" You know, they don't tell you the realistic possibility of you may not make it, which entail justifies the coaches that enforce good grades.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they want you to go to college. A lot of football players, they go to college to play ball. You know, I'm like, yeah, you can do that, but don't forget, man, you don't just go to school just to play ball. You know, there's some education here taking place too. So it's probably wise that you go down somewhat of a path because football, for instance, I just know so many football players that careers were just cut a lot shorter than they thought because that's a contact sport right there. Anything can happen.
Mm-hmm.
Anything can happen. I've seen injuries, concussions, all different type of things. Like, I mean, I'm not trying to make this about like sports, but what's the average age of a football player in their prime?
Probably about 25, 26, maybe somewhere in there.
And when do they
I
start?
think I think it's like mid 20s for sure.
Yeah, definitely in 20. And when do they start slowing down?
Like mid 30s. No. Probably like no. I'll say mid 30s. I would say at least 32, 33 ish.
So that
Unless
means
you're LeBron
a
James.
football player, right? Well, I ain't talking about basketball. I'm talking about football. You know, so that gives you maybe about 10 to 12 good years
Mm-hmm.
of just being in the playing football until they start to decline. Now, after that, if you ain't got a plan and you ain't did nothing smart with that money, what are you gonna do for the
You in
rest of your
like
life?
yeah, you in a world of hurt.
Yeah, what are you gonna do? And this comes back to having proper mentorship. Okay, because I know some individuals who are who were in the hood. They were able to get out of the hood, either whether it be through sports or through like music or something like that. And because they
Mm-hmm.
didn't have that mentorship on like saving and investing and things of that nature,
Yeah.
they ended up losing it all because the luster wore off or they got too old to
Mm-hmm.
play sports.
Yeah. Uh, what did Carlos say? Carlos said there's more applicants than open positions in sports and many other careers.
Yes,
Yep.
yes, yep. I agree.
And that's sad. That's really sad. Excuse me. All right, so before we move on to this next topic, chat, do y'all have any questions, any comments? I know we've talked about this topic for this point for quite a while, but I mean it is important
Yeah,
because you have to know your culture. You know, if you don't know your culture, how are you gonna survive? Like I said, like we both said, the only way you're gonna survive is street smart.
pretty much.
Um, so this next bullet point, and I think this one is very, very important, especially in the black community. Mentors reinforce positive racial identity. You know, you used to hear it back in the day, say it loud, I'm black and I'm proud. You know,
Right.
that, because let's face it, these kids, they they feel some type of way when people make fun of their race. Like it was somebody, I can't remember. It was a story last year. Somebody did something, because they didn't like being black. And it's just like that's not a good way of thinking. Embrace your skin.
Yeah, I've seen stories like that before. Um, just various different type of stories. I think that just comes with, like, again, not really having. Carlos said, "Oh yeah, ooh, bleaching. Yeah, that's really bad over in Africa.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, they do that a lot over there. Just bleaching their skin, just trying to, like, nullify it, brighten it up, etc."
Yeah.
Um, I don't know, some of that's from conditioning or just experience, or I mean, like you said, back in the day, they would say, I'm black and I'm proud. No other culture tends to have an issue with the way that, well, where they were, how they were born.
Mm-hmm.
Asian people, very, very prideful, very proud, I'll say, of who they are. Hispanic people, Carlos, I'm sure you can vouch, very proud of who they are. Like, if you Puerto Rican, you gonna know it. Woo! They got Puerto Rican T-shirts, flags on the car, flags everywhere, outside the house. I'm
Oh
Puerto
man.
Rican. Yeah,
Don't let it be a soccer game. You gonna see it.
man,
You gonna
Mexican,
know it.
same thing. And I think that's beautiful, man. Be proud of who you are and never ashamed. There's no reason to be ashamed.
Mm-hmm.
A positive racial identity. I mean, where are the examples of this? Like, when you look to see what the youth, I mean, we got to talk about the youth. I mean, grown men and women, they're just going to be them, but the youth, what's being popped into their heads about themselves.
Yeah.
That's kind of like all they hear and all they see, and it's never positive. Never positive. Like, unless they twistedly see it as positive, from a standpoint, I don't know where they would even get positive racial identity. But it's important. Like you
Yeah.
said, this is about mentors. Mentorship. If we saw more of it, then we would see more of the positive racial identity.
Yeah. And I mean, in some instances, you do see that in some of the young people, especially now. Um, I mean, people are embracing their heritage, they're embracing their culture, they're embracing their race because they feel like they're in a league of their own now. You know, everybody everybody else on that side, we got our own thing.
Mm-hmm.
But even that can be a bad thing, because we turn on each other more than anybody else. So. But that's another topic for another day.
Yeah, don't even do it. Just keep the can closed. Just keep the can closed, man.
But I mean, and, again, it's coming back. It's gonna come back full circle. Mentorship is so important because we have to embrace who we are as Black people, as African Americans. If we can't embrace ourselves, who is going to embrace for us?
No, nobody. Nor no one's gonna feel obligated to do that. Like I said, this isn't the issue with any other culture. At least I don't think so. I mean, there might be like a small percentage here and there, but not like the Black community.
Yeah. So, I know we getting pressed for time here, y'all. So I'm gonna skip to the last one because I think the last point is actually a really great one
Yeah.
as well. And the the reason it's so important to have mentorship in the Black community is because they help address opportunity gaps. Like we said earlier, most of the young Black kids all want to be athletes. They want to make it to the NBA. They want to make it to the NFL. Heck, some of them want to play baseball, professional soccer. You see it.
Yeah.
That's all that they have in their head. I want to make it out. I want to be able to help mom that worked 3 jobs just to keep the lights on and the food on the table when dad wasn't there. We hadn't. It's been a while since we had talked about that topic. Because that was one of our
Yeah.
topics in the first season.
Yeah.
But having those mentors for the young kids gives them an opportunity to learn what it's going to be like in the adult world. It's going to give them the chance. Okay, if I can't make it to the big leagues, I got this. I can fall back on. I got this degree in business. I got this degree in engineering. I got this degree in healthcare.
Mm-hmm.
Now I still have opportunities to do things like this. There was this is the only person that I know that was able to do both of them. It was this football player by the name of Myron Rolle. Some of y'all may know of him. He was a All-American safety at Florida State, and then he went on to the NFL. Well, while he was in the NFL, he no. Was he? It was before he got drafted. He was nominated for the Rhodes Scholarship, which was like a really high honor. And now he played a couple of seasons in the NFL and decided to retire and become a doctor. So now he's like a world-known doctor right now. So
yeah, I think I've heard of him. Okay.
So I mean, there are exceptions. I will say there are exceptions, but in this day and age, you don't see that happen. Everybody wants to go to they want to be the athletes. That's what they want to be growing up. So it's always great to have that mentor to be like, hey, if this don't work out, what's your plan B? Because if you don't have a plan B, God forbid you be on the streets, dealing or
Right.
homeless or in jail or unfortunately dead.
Yeah. Yeah. They mentors definitely can address the opportunity gaps, plant the bugs in the ear, so to speak, and embrace education. Because again, like in our community, a lot of males, especially, this isn't really that much of an issue with females as it is with males. It's not as
Mm-hmm.
much. But with the males, it's a rapper, it's athletes, football, basketball, track, sometimes, things like that. I'm like, these are all like great things and admirable, but the fact that it's highlighted so predominantly in our in our community just goes to show that there's like not really an urgency to want to learn other things, just in case that doesn't occur. Like it's
Mm-hmm.
almost like you're putting all your eggs in one basket. I'm gonna make it as a sports player. So, but what if you don't? And those are like the questions that I feel like mentors have to like propose. Instead of like, mama kind of riding the whole coattail, like you can do it, baby. You gonna make it to the NFL, and
Mm-hmm.
tell that boy the truth. He might not. And it takes somebody that really loves somebody and cares somebody to let them know, like, I don't know, man, like, you ain't looking too good. And that's not being negative, that's being real. Because a lot of those college athletes are like, they're like 19, 20, 21. They're
Mm-hmm.
still kids. They can't see up. They can't see up until they're, 35, 40 years old.
Right.
They don't know what that's like. They're living the high life right now. Not really comprehending what could potentially be up the road. And mentors, preferably somebody that's like 30 something years old, 40 something years old, can put them up on game. I would think that the motive of a lot of mentors is to help, they help the youth escape some of the things in which they had to endure. If it's a pitfall there, tell them. If there's a chance of failure here, let them know. Maybe they went through the path that they went down. Maybe they're a former athlete that depended too much on the sport.
Yeah.
And got hurt. I always reference him. My client, he played for the NFL and 4 teams and he got hurt. He might be watching this now. I gave him the link. He hurt his Achilles, tore his Achilles and had to retire before he was I think before he was 30. Yeah, I don't even think he got a chance to really even get to his prime. I don't believe. But he took that. He was very smart with, his earnings. He invested it.
Yeah.
And now he's good now. He's all right. And that's an example. It's funny we talk about this because me and him were talking about mentorship. And I told him, I'm like, you need to talk to some kids, man. Like some young men, you need to talk to them. That's like, 18 years old, 19 years old. You need to talk to them and tell them, like, this is the real. This is what happens. Even though that happened, it was career ending, but it wasn't the end of his life. He was able to set himself up very comfortably. And that's not the case with a lot of individuals because they don't have nobody there to guide them. There's no direction. This is like cutting checks, getting all this money, living this life, ain't got no accountability whatsoever. You know how dangerous that is to a young black man to have millions of dollars but no accountability? Something that could set him up for the rest of his life, he could dwindle away within half a decade.
Yep. That's why you see a lot of these pro athletes going bankrupt and stuff because they want to live the lavish life. They never were taught, or they let family and friends get in their head, or their agent wasn't smart enough as far as financial literacy.
Yeah.
And so now some of them are bankrupt, some of them are homeless.
Man.
And it's sad. It's sad. To be making that millions of dollars to play a sport that you grew up loving, only to see it vanish because you weren't taught accountability and responsibility.
That's tragic. That's actually tragic.
Yeah.
Because they do love it, and then the same thing you love can be your downfall because of poor management. I also think that we can sit up here and talk about how mentors are needed all night, but I think there also needs to be an urgency to want a mentor. There's very few, young black men who actually did what King EJ did, reach out and say, can you be my mentor? Not a lot of us do that.
Yeah.
And I don't know, maybe it's pride, maybe it's like I don't know. It's strange. I just think that I thought that was something that needed to be said too, because you could be a mentor, you could see somebody with potential, but they may not want it.
Yeah.
So there's that possibility as well. But I think that we got about 60 seconds here, man. We didn't reach the end of our talk here. Y'all already know. These conversations are always epic and much needed, of course. And we hope you all enjoyed it as well. You know, the interactions, and maybe, I don't know, maybe you might be somebody watching this and you can't relate at all. You know, just like we said in the beginning of the podcast, it doesn't matter what your race is. You know, this is more of a shining light on a serious problem, because not all male mentors are black. Some of them are white. You know, we talked about that earlier. It doesn't matter. It don't matter what your color is at the end of the day. Like, if you love people and you love like youth and you feel like you have something to offer, then get in there.
Please. Not begging, but we are urgent.
Yes, just get in there, man.
We're urgent
Because
and encouraging.
we can't complain about the younger generation if we ain't doing nothing. We just can't. Every generation that comes before us says that we're all screw ups. They say, "Oh, y'all are the worst generation. Ah, you don't know this. Ah, you don't know that." I'm like, well, who raised this generation?
Mm-hmm.
You know, baby boomers, they can't stand Gen X, but they parents. Millennials can't stand Gen X. So long. Baby boomers can't stand Gen X. Gen X can't stand millennials, and it just trickles down. Like, the previous generation always seems to have a problem with the younger generation, and it's just crazy to me because y'all they parents. Where did you miss that fact? I don't know, but it's crazy. Yep. Anyway, man, we have run out of time, folks, and we have had an amazing time with you all. Really, really epic conversation. If you are somebody that's watching this on YouTube and you're not subscribed to the channel, you know, please do us a big favor and subscribe to that channel, and share this YouTube link with somebody, because I understand that everyone doesn't know what Twitch is, but everybody know what YouTube is. So everybody may not have a Twitch account, but I'm pretty sure everyone has a YouTube account. So share it with somebody, because we definitely would love to bring new people into the community and educate them as well. Any plugs you want to give before we tap out of here?
No, just your normal. I'll be live on Sundays. I've been experimenting on some things, so but I'll be live back on YouTube Sunday evening, and then Twitch on Monday, Tuesdays, and of course podcasts on Wednesdays. Now, however, I am doing something tomorrow morning. I don't know how many people were there last night for Campfire Tales, but I actually edited my video and I'm doing a live premiere tomorrow at 10 a.m. Of that game. So if you are free around 10 o'clock Central Time, just come over to my YouTube channel. It's just Bearded Legend Gaming, and come hang out with us. I think the game. I think the video is probably about close to 2 hours long. So, no, come in, chit chat with me. I'll be doing some work in the background, but I'll be still paying attention. But we definitely love to have y'all here. Have y'all on the channel.
That's what's up. Yeah, I don't have no updates, no plugs or anything like that. I've just really been doing a lot of stuff here, and just IRL. If you want to say, just kind of taking a break from the internet, we can call it that. It's only a matter of time before I start that back up again. But you can catch me here, of course, on the Two Bearded Guys podcast, and until further notice. But all right, fellas, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know what I'm talking about. Y'all have an amazing night.
Yes.
Amazing rest of your week. We will be back again next Wednesday with another great topic. Again, please share our podcast all over the place, because we're trying to trying to make some stuff happen this year. So, but y'all take it easy. Have a wonderful night.
Deuces. Y'all know me, Big the Legend G, with my co-host Initial D, bringing that heat in the Twitch street. Grab your popcorn, kick up your feet, sit back, relax. We about to blow. Welcome to our channel. Enjoy the show. Ayy.
Hard conversation, brain stimulation, BGID, no imitation. Look, pull up on the mic. Two bitty guys is rocking the night. Sub on YouTube and follow on Twitch. I guarantee it's gonna be a hit. It's showtime.